Hello everyone, and welcome to Tormenture, a meta-horror game in which we play as a child playing a video game in their room in the early 80s. Now, I previously had the pleasure of playing the demo of this a while back, and it really impressed me with how it blended the ability to get sucked into the gameplay of the Atari-like game itself and the sort of metagame of the fully 3D, fully rendered room. It sort of creates a degree of separation between the player and the character where, well, when strange things start happening even outside the game, you feel like it's happening to you, and kind of forget that you're sitting here at a computer.
Another case of a missing child in the town of St.
And here we are. Scan lines in, I guess, 8-bit, maybe even pre-8-bit music. It's the 80s, and I'm ready to immerse myself. Here we are. And as you can see, this was a bit of a simpler time. Everything just colored squares, really, or made up of them. And that door is locked, so I guess we need to find a key. Huh. That's kind of eerie. Apart from the intro music, there's no sound whatsoever in game. Well, except for the scant sound effects. Now, obviously the idea of haunted games is nothing new in creepypastas and modern horror games. But why is that? I think it's because of stuff like this, where the older these things are, the more separation we have from them, and the more we're able to kind of see them objectively, where back in the day, we would look at these colored squares moving around the grid, and our minds would fill in the blanks. We would be having the adventure it's meant to be in our heads. But now we look at them, and we just think, I spent hours on this? While I was in these enchanted worlds, I was really just in my room in the dead of night, sitting in the glow of a screen, staring at this in silence. I don't know, I guess it kind of makes us more aware of those gaps in our perception that sort of narrow as we age. Oh. And remember how scary these things could be when you let yourself, when you let your imagination be taken by it. Okay, so we can't go through there. Now, of course, all of this was in the demo, so I remember how to pass this. We've got some enemies roaming around here, but of course there wasn't really any such thing as AI then, so they're all just kind of following a scripted path. Let's go up and around you. And, ow. Now I've got to find some way to get inside and get that key. But how? Oh, I know. If we come over here, we can get that hand to reach out that interacts with the lever. And now we can grab you, which actually is carried along with us physically. Okay, now we need to move around you, avoiding you. And now we can get inside the castle and get the sword. And I guess we need to hit these switches. Immediately eliminating those. Will you come back is the question. You will. Ooh, and now we're damaged. Ah, you need to be hit multiple times. Well, you know what? Maybe it's better to just let you get me so I can heal. There we go. Game over. But the checkpoint is saved right here. Now, that's there for convenience. I believe back then, saving would not have actually been a thing. If you were lucky, you'd get a password. You're gone. Can I leave it here? I can by pressing space. And I can come over here. And now that's gone. I think that was a little bit glitchy when I played it in the demo. It seems to be working a bit better now. And leaving stuff is persistent between screens. That also used to be a bit hit or miss from what I remember. Now, this is even before my time. My earliest games were for the NES and the Sega Genesis, but I think I'm still able to get an idea for what the nostalgia is like. Now, does this work on you? It does, but it does not stop you. And if we get stuck, you have a distinct advantage since you can move through walls. All right, let's see what you want. You don't seem to be an enemy. Oh my god, that text is like incomprehensible in its layout. Luckily, we have subtitles. Where's my ring? Alright, that is the universal sign for a side quest. Now, in case that ghostly shadow man is there, we're gonna want to come in here. God. That is horrifying, like something that pursues us in this maze and seemingly cannot be killed. And has the ability to just pop up behind us, jump scaring us each time it appears. Like, when our mind fills in the gaps, it's so much scarier than anything a modern game could do in that regard. And I'm not going off on some whole, like, games back in the day used to be better rant. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying that stuff like that, it gets to you in a different way. Oh, I guess we can't carry 2 items at once. You must unlock something. Oh, and it looks like one of the enemies on the right there has changed a little bit. I think there's something in its hand. Hang on, let's see if we can kill it and see what it has. Alright, we want to pick that up and have it facing downward. Oh, you're angry. Can we kill you for good? There we go. That looks ring-shaped. I'm telling you, all these old games, like, they really had to try pretty hard to represent even simple things, which does have a certain charm to it, I believe. Oh, ow. There you go. Funnily enough, we don't have a health bar, but the screen gets a bit more wibbly when you hit us. Where's my ring? Right here, buddy. Retrieve 1 out of 34. Retrieve the lost ring and return it to its owner. Huh, so that was entirely optional. I actually do remember that from the demo. There are all kinds of optional objectives we can complete, and what they get us, I don't know, but we're certainly going to want to try and find as many of those as possible. Some of you guys actually said this basically is an actual Atari game that existed. Yep. Of course, this is an actual Limbo game, but I'll explain more about that later on. Where do you... Oh no, I've got to go back into the maze. It's literally just a handful of gray pixels, but there's just something about it where I dread seeing it. Part of it is the separation due to nostalgia and the advancement of technology, and part of it is just... When you're a kid, you feel like anything can happen in games. And so you tend to imagine aspects of the game that aren't actually there. I can just imagine being a kid and being like, I swear I remember that horrifying face the ghost made when it killed you. Okay, we need to... Oh God. We need to go get the sword, I think. How else are we gonna slay this dragon? You gotta get good at going through the maze. You're gonna fire... It's all simple patterns, because remember, there's no actual AI. Like, maybe there can be a script that says, like, okay, he's over there, use that direction attack pattern. That's about all there is to it. Hit. And, oh, you've just gotten faster. Oh, and you have a cluster attack. Dodge. Hit you. Oh my! I'm dead. The sword went right through you. Well, at least the screen fixed itself. And as every kid from around this time knows, what do you do when your game stops working? Gotta blow on it. And on the 7th or 8th try, this'll work. But we're not gonna mess with that right now. Of course, instead of just a black screen, what we get is static. And as we enter the meta aspect of this, actually putting us into this role, into this time period so effectively and jarringly, I can't help but think of how jarring it was in real life. You know, anytime a game glitches out, you're so invested in it, your eyes glued to the screen, and then some glitch happens and you just hear that repeating loud noise, and suddenly you're looking around the room, letting your eyes adjust to the darkness, feeling like something is watching you now. Certainly from the crack of that door that seemingly opened itself. And we can look around the room, because this is not just an extra framing device. From what I remember of the demo, we can actually exit the game view at any time, and even mess with stuff around the room. So we've got our camera over there, we've got a cassette player we can interact with. There's the shadow of our head and the flickering glow against the back wall. Now look, I was born in 95, so this isn't my time period, and yet I still find this so relatable, whether it was the Genesis or PS1 or PS2 or whatever. It's all the same. Oh, we've got a nice little goat nightlight. Hopefully not too Baphomet-y. I just got skinamarinked by this thing. Oh, and we can dial different colors. Now, I do actually recognize some of these toys. I'm pretty sure I had one of these. Got our little bear. Can't open our toy box. We've got darts, which we can... there's the dartboard over there. Can we open these drawers? We can. Oh, and here we find the Croxel Studios Tormenture game instructions. And just look at this thing. I used to love getting a new game, whether it be from like a rental store or actually buying it and taking it home. And on the ride back, just looking at the box art and at the information on the back and opening up the manual and thumbing through the pages. Because a lot of the time, it wouldn't just be instructions on how to play the game. It would actually have like lore and breakdowns of enemy types and what you can do about them. They were almost like little mini strategy guides in and of themselves. All right, let's have a look what's in it. Safety precautions. Use your joystick controller with this Croxel Studios game program. Always turn the console power switch off when inserting or removing. Okay, blah, blah, blah. For more enjoyment of the Tormenture game program, please read all instructions carefully before starting to play. I am the only kid who ever did that. Warning, don't play for many consecutive hours, or you might start experiencing visions, night terrors, or other distortions of reality. An evil wizard has imprisoned magical creatures of the kingdom inside a mysterious dungeon. You, adventurer, are the bridge between the dungeon and their freedom. Collect the 4 relics and save the kingdom. Yep, the story all there in the manual. To save them, you'll have to find the 4 hidden relics and open the door to the final labyrinth, where the source of evil lies. There are several areas in the dungeon, each with its own paths and challenges to overcome and test your skills. Okay. Something just fell out. Ultimate Express Video, store 0978762. Dated February 25th, 1982. So this is a rental, and funnily enough, our total comes out to $6.66. 7 after tax. Okay, do we read more or do we play a little more? Well, there was something there explaining the enemy types, and I guess anything we pull out of drawers will go back into this box right here. During your mission to find the treasures, you'll encounter many hazards, but you'll also find good magic on your side. Keys that allow you to open locked doors, a sword that you can use to hurt evil creatures, seeds that turn into plants by placing them into a plant hole to reach other areas, a shovel to turn plants back into seeds, a flute that awakens the creatures, and bombs to destroy rock piles and set fire to plants. A torch to illuminate dark areas, set fire to plants, and ignite bombs, so the adventure game aspects of this are actually fairly complex for the time. This would be a big hit. It's kind of like Legend of Zelda before Legend of Zelda, although some of you guys in the demo video compared it to an older game I'm not familiar with called Adventure. A magnet to attract items that are out of reach or too heavy, a small dot that reduces your size and allows you to move through narrow gaps or even between spikes. Even when they're establishing lore so we can use our imagination, they describe it as a small dot. And that's a bridge that allows you to pass over any wall in the dungeon. After dropping the bridge, you can cross it to get to the other side. We can also find elements that will also help during the adventure. Buttons to deactivate barriers, we've already seen those. Levers to deactivate barriers. Mirrors that reveal creatures and other invisible elements. Some of this really rides the line between what would be visually possible, even for its simplicity. Magical gadgets that allow you to jump between dimensions, clock-like structures that seem to heal your wounds, and magically register your progress when you approach them. Okay, the rest we'll leave as we go. But let's get that game back in there. Oh, look at this! We're making a note of what Easter eggs we found, but more importantly, we're actually drawing out the map ourselves as we go. We were pretty much just left to our own devices as far as figuring things out. I know I haven't even really started the proper game yet, but I just can't help but gush over how dedicated it is to putting us into the time period and the experience of what this is like. Because you can't really know how creepy the game is unless you understand that. Alright, power on. Press Control to keep playing Tormenture. And at any time we can move back. The sound dims, I guess indicating how we are now unfocused from the screen. And somehow that music is even creepier company, looking into the blackness. Alright, let's do it. Find the 4 hidden relics and head north. I guess we defeated the dragon. Also, this thing looks a lot like the thing that appeared on the screen right before it was done glitching out. Although it appeared in red then, I can't help but think it looks a bit like a face. There's a lever, which turns that off. We've seemingly turned purple. Yeah, we're yellow in here, purple out here. Although this is still all scattered over a black background, I guess this music is at least a little more inviting. Let's talk to the wizard. Are you taking notes? Try pressing tab. So at any time we can bring up our map with tab. I knew that sounded too realistic. That wasn't the clock in-game, that was our clock on the wall. Huh. What creepy timing, eh? Anyway, let's have an explore around. We were told to find the 4 relics and head north. Can't enter that door just yet. This river is impassable, but I see a lever over there. Give it back. And look at that, if we let it go, it's actually carried downriver. So if we come up here, we can release it, and hopefully you can grab it from your end. There you are! Can we talk to you? Welcome, traveler. See, back then, they didn't really have the capacity to record and store voice lines, but they would try to approximate that dialogue was happening by just having noises vaguely voice-like play. These games just endlessly fascinate me with, like, all the limitations they had to work with and all the creative things they came up with to deal with that. Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself. I should go back and take things as they come. So let's cross the bridge. We move pretty fast. Buddy, I'm staring at you, and my mind is running wild with interpretations, but I'm coming up blank on a definitive answer. Say cheese. Now, everything in this starting area, I did play in the demo. I don't remember everything. But now this slightly slower, more somber music kicks in. This plain white figure with what looks like tears of blood. Rusted things belong here. Down in the well, I guess. It's things like these sudden changes in the tone that I think really stick with kids when reminiscing on old games. It's these creepy things that either come out of nowhere with a loud, bombastic jump scare, or that just don't feel right, and, you know, you really think about it more when you're older, but when you're a kid, like, it's even more unnerving, I think, because it makes you uncomfortable in a way you can't really articulate. And then there's this guy. It's so quiet here. Some games just had that thing to them where the soundtrack makes them feel haunted. And it's before the strangeness starts. The eternal task. Just banging your head flat on what looks to be maybe part of a key? I'm tired. You seem pretty steady. Want some pineapple juice? But I don't believe we can actually say anything in response. Color really stands out in these games, especially when the rest is all gray. Okay, we can walk through here, but it doesn't take us to anything. Bring me the parts. 0 out of 5. Is this a part over here? I can see it glowing. 1 out of 5. Okay, so we've got to find 4 more. And I imagine that part over there, that's also part of it. Maybe we can find something to replace it for you. Dog? Woof woof. Alright, I was kind of trying to rush this because it's all stuff that I saw in the demo, but I don't know, I don't really remember the exact solutions to some of these. Sudden silence. It's creepier than just about anything else. When a game goes silent like this, especially after you were so drawn in, it's kinda like it's stopped and turned to stare at you. Okay, but I guess we're probably looking for a red key of some kind. Like, was there a place where we could go downward? There is. Two headless figures tossing a head back and forth in a churchyard. That game is awesome. That random smattering of noises made to approximate two voices talking in unison. Okay, well, we can take the red cross. Oh, look, there's stained glass in the back. A blue music note, what looks like a green mouse. A pink palette and a yellow lamp. Alright, well, I've got this thing now. Between this and the house, it kind of feels like we're playing Faith. Do you need to be exorcised? You actually did. Purification. Purify the corrupted tombstone. But I guess that didn't actually do anything for us. It counted as an Easter egg. That is one strange-looking horse. Only one half in here. Somebody, like, because you can only deliver that, like, one bit of dialogue at a time, it feels often like you're not finished. Like, there's something else you're supposed to be telling us, but even then, it's so stilted and cryptic. The half that feels. Also strange that this humanoid figure is having this clearly animalistic creature speak for it. We can come in here, but we can't. There doesn't seem to be anything. Only one half in here, the half that feels. Let's save. And there were other ways we could go. And now we're back to what you'd expect from an adventure game. This game gives me whiplash, and that's part of it. In the limitations, sometimes things don't come off the way they're meant to, and it can be really, really unnerving. Now, what's this over here? This is new. A dark old forest? Look, they've even dimmed the colors to signify that it's darker here. What was that? I thought I saw the word seed. The game manual said something about that, how we can get them to grow. Oh, wait. We can perhaps push you out and do something with you, but not at the moment. Or we could burn you. What are you? Looks like you've got a big meat cleaver and a demented face. There's no meat here. Yeah, myself included. I'm getting so lost, but there's a door in this direction. And a lone tree in the middle of a moat. Okay, well, if I grab that, that's got to be one of the parts, right, that the old man wants? The old craftsman? I've got to try and maintain a sense of direction. Recognize landmarks. I did not like what the soundtrack was doing towards the end there, and we're back in safety. So much so that the enemies almost feel like a welcome sight. Let's get back down to that guy. Thankfully we move pretty fast, so it doesn't take that long to traverse the map. There you go, that's 2 out of 5. Now let's have a look at this. It only shows our current area, although we can move it around. That's useful. Does it show us? It does show us where we are presently. Okay, so it at least extends us that unrealism. I'll be honest, I'm a little scared of that area. So I'm gonna move to the right and see what we can find. Oh, hang on, it sounds like the cat just knocked something over. You know, it's kind of funny, because it's like what I said earlier about degrees of separation. I got really startled by my cat knocking over something downstairs. Because when we play this, like, we're playing a game as a child, as ourselves. So when something, like, when I hear that clock chime in-game, I don't think of that as something that's happening in Tormenture. My view is pulled back from the Limbo game to the child. But I don't perceive it as that, I perceive it as something that's happening to me. So then when we get pulled back another layer by something that's actually happening to me in real life, it's really jarring and it's really cool. Alright, we need to work out which way. You guys always come out the same way. So it's important to know how you do so. This area looks safe. Are these meant to be crumbling, overgrown buildings? Skyscrapers, even? What is this? I mean, I guess this is like a cow skeleton or something. 6 levers. And that symbol. A symbol which I assume represents the ultimate evil at the end of this? There must be some proper combination, right? But I have no idea what that combination would be at this moment. Actually, if we go down here, there's more. Oh, it's you! That thing is back. Thankfully, you don't chase me between screens. It was just dark for a second and then something. That noise, why does this environment in particular take a second to load? Can't interact with these crystals, but we're in some kind of cave. That also gives us a heal. Ooh, a torch. But we can't bring it with us. Oh wow, this area is quite large. In the flicker of the scan lines, for a second I thought that little dot was like slowly moving in my direction. I thought it was like an eye turning to look at me. We can bump you around. Huh, all kinds of relics covered. This is kind of overwhelming. This is way more open than the demo, which I suppose it would be, and there's a door at the back. And some kind of summoning ritual? Why is it that when I come across something like this, my first instinct is to stand in the middle of it? Okay, I think I'm advancing too much too quickly. I need to stick to an area and figure it out. Those moments where it goes dark, I become very aware of the side of the screen. What was that? That sounded like a cat or something. Can we really not close that door? I don't like looking at that dark gap. Silence is awful. Okay, I guess we're going back. You again. Now, if we have a look at this, that's the only way out, but there's a way up that we haven't been yet. More of you guys. Up and over. Ooh. This is a whole maze of problems. You guys will reveal yourselves when you're heading in the direction we want to go. But as long as we plan this, we're okay. Hey, it's Kermit the Frog! And that key, they've gone out of their way to reveal as rusted. So, if we can cross the river, we can grab it and put it down the well. He wants to help. Who wants to help? Certainly no one we've met so far. If we can actually crawl around under your house a little bit. Let's bring it back. Of course, taking extra care. As long as we follow the right path. It's more about knowing the right path rather than being quick or dodging. Let's not take any risks while we're holding this thing. Where was it? Here we go. You saw that, right? That little, like, blue flicker on the screen? You've got nothing new to say, and this is really interesting. This took me a long time to figure out in the demo, but we drop that down there, nothing happens. And so we think, what gives? What you have to do is pull out of this view. It's fallen straight into our reality. How creepy is that? But, you know, because we're a kid, we have no conception of how the world works. We're just like, cool. They've really outdone themselves. Question is, does it open this? From a rented Limbo game, we get the key to a drawer that's never been opened in our own room. Oh wait, and there's some kind of combo chest right here. Did we know about this? Disco party, huh. Looks kind of like the guy in front of that house, doesn't it? Alright, let's close that for now and get back to it. We've still only got 2 out of 5 of those parts. I wonder if we can find something for you to get you to leave this? Maybe if we can find an anvil or something. It's so quiet here. Well, I've got just the thing for you. This game is absolutely crazy. Like, that constant blend between, like, in-game and out-of-game puzzle solving, I love it. And there's a red key, which... Of course, you wouldn't allow us to revel in that upbeat music for too long, would you? Well, it's a red key, and a red key is probably for a red house. So let's move on over. There's all these doors just propped up in the middle of nowhere with these symbols on them. was really caught off guard by first person. But now we've entered the haunted mansion. Red walls give the impression of a darker space. Ghastly figures staring down at us from these portraits amid the statues. Let's explore. Oh, I saw you up there. Look at that. We actually have a reflection of our own. Not only that, but actually a distorted reflection. And a whole mess of levers. Did you see that? I sure did, wizard. What I want to know is, what are you doing here? And it freaks me out because there's movement where I'm not expecting it. Once again, this requires some sort of passcode, I guess. There's some right combination. Oh my god! Oh, you can actually hurt us in the mirror side! This whole place is a funhouse. Okay, we were too far away. I was gonna say, we're not being reflected in these. We can't get beyond there, but only here does it show the locked door. So if we can find something, a key, then we can get through. What the heck is that thing? Yeah. Oh my, ow! Oh my, I can't move. You guys are shooting down from above. We gotta hide amidst the bookshelves. And you appear to be leaking out of your frame. Okay, we really need to heal. Acting as a mirror, but how could that be? I just became really aware of that window next to me. But it's like it's blocking our own face, like it won't let us perceive it. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. That was actually where the demo ended. Nope. Let's take our heal. There's a door down here. This map definitely helps to understand the bigger picture when you get turned around. That's one of you. Another of you. Oh god. It's like a huge dining hall, and you're like a big version of that. Some kind of squid-faced something supported by smoke. But you have nothing to say to me. We can climb into the fireplace. It's suddenly, we're playing in first person. Oh god. Oh god. But it's so disorienting. No. No. Well, we're dead. We're cooked. That was surprisingly scary, like how fluid they are and just trapping us in a corner. Alright, let's try that again, or better yet, map this place out a bit better. More of these covered doors, mirrors, whatever they're meant to be. We do disappear behind them. Kind of like what we found in the cave. Actually... Wait, we've been here. All we've done is open up a shortcut. That is so weird. There's the one to use. And what has happened to our model? Oh, we can't see a thing in the dark. Oh no. Well, this... I can't see what's happening to us. We're dead. We're dead. Okay, we probably have to find a light source of some kind before we can safely navigate in there. Huh, but that gate is left open. That's kind of weird. It's almost like it saved our progress automatically in some way. We go back to the checkpoint, but the game itself is handling the saving. Do you hear that? If we move down here... Oh, it's up one of these. There's another oozing portrait. Oh! God, why is this getting me so badly? No, you're still... There's still somebody running from us. We're pursuing something. That or it wants to be seen. That's always a possibility as well. Where are we? We are breaking new ground. But this place just seems to be endless. It's so... I see what we're doing here. But of course that means that the controls are inverted. That is so cool. There we go. And now we just gotta navigate ourselves. This is very disorienting. And we're out. Wait, where'd our key go? We still have it here. And we still have it in the mirror as well. I'm still trying to invert my movement. Wait, there was... We gotta go back to that other mirror lock. Okay, it should be in here. We just got to deliver it. And I imagine those purple things are unfriendly, right? Hang on. We can cover you up. So we really need to go over here. Push that onto you. Wait, unless... No, that doesn't hurt us. We need to uncover it, right? Like, do those symbols, do they mean something? E. Oh, wait, no, it's upside down. I see. That's the order. So, this is gonna be tough. I should actually get out a pen and paper. So 1, 2, I'm actually gonna do that, 1 second. Right, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No? Hello, who are you? Loss is forever. I mean, I've reloaded a couple of times now. Can't do anything with this. Although the sight of a TV on the screen certainly makes me want to turn around. Look, even the color of the glow we cast is different. Well, it certainly is forever, but what do we do with that information? Yep. Is that a part? I think we've located a part. Well, that's infinitely more interesting to me right now. Huh, interestingly enough, it appears as white in the mirrors. There you go, old-timer. 3 out of 5. Okay, now we can start making our way up here. Is this your studio? Always hungry. Oh, this one has an open mouth. Maybe if we can bring it some kind of food? Or maybe we've got to learn what those TV things do. Maybe we can check the manual. That will not open. Let's try going back into the 3D area. You guys will keep going. Let's go this way. Get the hidden candle in the mansion. I'm not seeing anything about TVs in the manual. Ooh. Oh, there's notes scribbled in the back, and we can meet the team behind Tormenture. Art is eternal. Paul Astrobel Moore, creative director. Sometimes the code seems to come alive. Lewis Walterson, programmer. Listen to the hidden tune. Al Bernstein, musician. Mazes are like life. You have to find your own way. Charles Raymond, designer. Everything is up for reinterpretation. Even yourself. Alex Baker, artist. Wow, all of those are so ominous. It's like you're not even hiding it. Oh, but wait, look. We can actually see... We can see other kids' notes, previous renters. That is so cool. I can't move. How do I get the afro hair guy to move? Well, for you, there might not have actually been a way. The frog hides something. Something besides the key that we already found? All of these are potentially useful, including the thing in the top right. Looks like, didn't we encounter an area where there were 6 levers all lined up? But I've only just noticed the vertical text, stop playing. Well, other kid, hopefully you returned this safely to the video store. That's an ominous thing to find in the middle of the night. Oh, because it's upside down, bottom right's not a 2. Or rather, top right's not a 2. Hang on, I need to redo my notes. Let's replace that with the 5, and the 5 with the 2. And that might start to make a bit more sense. Of course, that still gives us 2 different permutations we could try. But let's get back there. Keep in mind, this game is not out yet. It comes out in 2 weeks at the time of this recording. So I'm kinda without a guide. Yep. Whatever, just forces me to do it the old-fashioned way, right? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No? Okay, the other way then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. It was actually laid out exactly as is. Oh, we're in now. Oh, it's a huge hall. And the further we go, the more melty and distorted these portraits become. Looks a lot like where I came from. But I guess we are moving on. A yellow door, which we cannot enter. Still, they seem to correspond to colors like what we saw in the church. I don't remember exactly what they were, but it's gotta have something to do with these relics, right? And the different labyrinths? Oh, this whole thing is a labyrinth. You're not firing things at me. Maybe I need to remain on your level? you'll come with me. Ooh, experimentation rewarded. And you enabled us to hit a button. That is so cool! Like, every time I solve a puzzle, I'm thinking, that was so cool. Like, it's logical, but it's just like that little bit out there. And this enables us to come back down into here. Another of these. We need a yellow key up there. These were in the manual, and I'm going to consult it before moving further. Oh, come on. Magical gadgets that allow you to jump between dimensions. Alright, let's see what this doohickey does. What are you? Mommy and Daddy, you're playing with puppets. We appeared on the other side. You seriously set that up so that it looked like we would just come out right here, but I think we met something in between. Oops, we can't mess with that still. I am not quite sure what's going on there, but I don't feel like I came back where I left. Maybe we'll try someplace else for a time. I think I've more or less exhausted my leads. I don't have a way to get to the blue key. I don't have a way... or I don't have a yellow key. But once I get it all put together... I think that's what I need. I think I need all 5 parts. Alright, let's get going then. Didn't I see... hang on. Hang on. Good boy. Pet your 4-legged friend. That's adorable. Didn't I see something? No, it wasn't in here. What if we just have a look at this? Okay, that doesn't seem to have done anything. That seems so certain, doesn't it? I am genuinely surprised. I think that's the sound I heard earlier. Was that this thing going off in here? Wait, what about this thing? Oh, it's a speaking spell. What do you mean? What did I get wrong? Between? It's kind of hard to tell what you're saying. Demon?
Correct. Spell time.
That's not your regular electronic voice.
Correct. Spell prison. P-R-I-L-N. Correct. Spell ambition.
Demon time prison.
M-V-I-R-O-N. Correct. Spell transcendence. T-R-A-N-S-C-E-N-D-S-E. Correct. Spell transcendence.
Okay, I guess we got to the end of that because we just got the spelling bee achievement. Alright, you can go down. You're just gonna get put right back in our box, leading me to believe that we're not done with you just yet. Let's try it with the horse. Let's try it. I'm surprised doing it with the dog didn't do anything. The half that feels, that's gotta mean something as well, right? Yeah, once more, not sure. Say cheese. Oh, you know what it was? In the demo, I remember, and I'm sorry to use meta-knowledge like this, but I remember trying to figure out what I do with this camera. I think I just have to stand in that box over there. I get it now, you're holding a camera. You're a hunched creature holding a camera. Or you are the camera. Say cheese, pose for the photo. But even here, we're blacked out. I wonder if we can use that for something. If we come back up this way, past the starting location, by the way, that door appears to be oozing purple like the mansion. There's also ways on the left. Oh, there's you again. And here we find some levers, which we can use to circumvent this block. And stand at some great temple, presumably opened by bringing back the 4 relics. Now, right... What was that? Was that the lamp flickering? Yeah, you're just gonna start levitating anytime I'm not looking, aren't you? That is so cool. It's doing like these little things to sort of draw your attention. And it's so jarring every time because you do get so invested in the game itself. But this was in the manual, right? Somebody figured it out. And as we've seen, what's even possible to figure out may not be true for another kid. All right, so the question then is, where do we start? It would be the middle one, right? Because there's nothing going to it. So hang on, let's bring out the old pen and paper again. Let's make sure this is right side up so that I actually can do it. So it's going to be 1 in the middle. Top right is going to be 2. Middle top will be 3. Bottom left is 4. Above that is 5, and then bottom right is 6, right? Let's try it. And if not, then I'm really confused. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Thank you, mysterious previous renter. I did not like the way that sounded. Save, please. That music sounds like it's coming up from behind me. How is it doing that? Ruins of old castles? I can't help but think of the phrase Yellow King. Something's shooting at me from across a moat. Ah, there's a magnet here. If we can get ourselves to it, that opens up a whole new world of possibilities, doesn't it? Oh, we can grab a key from there, but it doesn't necessarily help us for the time being. If we have a look at this... Well, there is, of course, that one... Oh, wait, no, it does. Because the magnet can also repel, right? No, right now it's just attracting. If I put it over here, also attracting. Okay, but we still got to figure that out then. Must be someplace where we can get that down. Gold key required for here. We need the magnet for you. Huh, there's still something we haven't checked down here. Along this river. If only we could reach that bridge. If we come around from the other side, then we can find it. In fact, I bet we can do that by going through that spooky forest that I've been avoiding. So that's all kinds of awesome. It's gonna be a long trip down as well. Back into here. Oh, it is such a long way. And maybe we could bring that key back out here. It wouldn't make us bring it that far, would it? I wonder just how far it'll even let us carry it. Found the Blair Witch cabin. What is that wretched old creature look? It may only be colored pixels, but those seem a lot like... like rotted taxidermies. Sound awakens creatures. Okay, I'll try to be quiet then, but I think I know what you mean, though. We'll revisit that momentarily. Now, that path is blocked. Where did you say you needed a key? Couple down. There we go. Oh, you're a slide and box puzzle, aren't ya? Well, not much of one. But in any case, this path is not opened yet. There's our meat man. Well, if we can awaken creatures, maybe we can get your meat. You saw that little thing that just flashed red on the right there, right? Something's leading us. Further downward. You just got... No, you're over there now. What is that? Also, this wouldn't have been here before. What? No, 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 no. That doesn't make any sense. Are you some kind of tree creature? Do you enjoy mortality? No, not a tree. A deer. The butcher's prey. That's what the achievement said. Okay, what I want to do now is get back to that creepy cabin and say, like, alright, this would be like a horse or something, right? So maybe we can do this now? It didn't seem to work. If we come downward, we can find something. But nothing we can actually interact with. Unless, Manuel, have you got anything for me? A flute that awakens creatures. Ah, that's what you're talking about. So now we are... Oh, we've got to basically lock ourselves out, and then the thing disappears. Put everything into place. Was that a good idea, saving while I'm deadlocked like that? I was going to say, I hope we can... We got to put you in the plant hole. There we go. And now we take you and move you into here. We can then move you out. But that's not correct. If we move you up, though, you can be pushed into here. And you can be pushed into here. There we go. Oh! I didn't need any sound to awaken that beast. What a heart attack. And you're leaving a trail. A trail which I assume damages me, so we need to get in behind you and go up and out when we have the opportunity. You're back. As are we. But we need to find another plant so we can grow the solution. It's just a dark old bramble that we get lost in. Alright, we need to learn to kite if we're gonna bring you out of here safely. Oh no. Okay, we can grab that plant. Oh! Move back around. I'm sorry, I'm just borrowing it, I swear. No. Move around. It really does bring you back into that, like, childish mindset of an enemy, just by virtue of the fact that it wants to damage you, is the scariest thing in the world. Especially when they come on suddenly like that. Alright, now, what was I trying to do? It was much farther up. Here's where we want to be. So, yep. And now let's work this out. Who's best to go where? Can we push you over to here? You... You can go like that and then go around... No, you can't go around the other way because you're... Unless we go like that. My trouble is I'm thinking of it in terms of I can't leave the box, but our advantage is that we can. There we go. No problemo. I don't like that sound. How's this map starting to look? Ah, we can... extend that if only we can bring a plant down. This, I believe, was the thing that... Oh no. We use that there, and that will grow a beanstalk or vines across, and we make ourselves a bridge. That's what we need to do in the other place where we found this one, where the flute is. Well, Mr. Wizard, have you anything to say? You seem to be following us in our journey. Careful with this part. Oh boy. Where's the nearest save? Oh! Oh! That was real lightning. Hang on. Let's get back here. It's actually started to rain in real life. Well, at least we can somewhat see outside now. Oh god, we can somewhat see outside now. Is that a good thing? We'll be able to see something poking its face in. And save here. There's another of those TVs, a recurring theme now. I don't want to grab that plant if I don't know what I'm doing with it. I now know what I'm doing with it. Okay, so we've got to get you all the way over here. We're gonna have to be ready to run, right? Look at you, it's like flesh and moss rotting around some giant skeletal creature. The the soundtrack even picked up, but you didn't awake. Alright, how are we going about this? I think we need to push you this way. Down from above, push you this way. We can come from here down 2. And then, boop, don't touch you. Come up from here. We have to do more maneuvering than you do. And then here, and then, Actually, yeah, no, we need you to move all the way around. So what we're gonna do instead is push you back to here. You're gonna go down here, over 1, down 1, down 2. We'll come around the other way. Push you all the way out here, and then up, 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 and then, Alright, well, if we can go around the outside, that's fine, because you go here, we go out here, you go up here. Excellent. It's more you guys. We need to thread that needle. Yep. Even more. And we have to solve the puzzle while doing it. Okay. So you're suited to go here. That other one, we're gonna have a time getting to it. There is an opening to the right here. Oh, there's one of these and the Shadow Man. Gotta work our way to the center of the spiral. Ow. Yeah, it's not really a good way to do this, except for like this. Yep. Getting that movement fluid is a useful skill here. This is gonna be dumb, but what if we try pushing this down? We can trap you. We still have to use these things, but we can trap you. Which will allow us time to go get this thing. Maybe all we need. See, it doesn't... Oh my god, come on. Alright, we actually have a decent amount of freedom here due to the open sides to do as we please. You guys are the only real complications, so let's just trap you in there and give ourselves some room to breathe by getting rid of this guy. Best way to do that is to trap you in that corner right there. Yep. And slime be gone. I'll move you downward and out and down. When we move these, we're gonna have to commit to it before you move in on us. The last thing we want is it getting stuck against your trail, so go up. Okay, there is enough time. There you go. Now, yep. And here. There we go. I'm just hoping that this will eventually lead us to familiar waters. Yes. So we've got our shortcuts, our less dangerous routes. What does it mean when that happens? It means we need a new TV set is what it means. You weren't here a second ago. I miss my toys. Some kind of stilt-legged goat creature tending to a person? And flies buzzing all around. That's my interpretation of this. And when we come back, you're gone. It's almost as if you weren't actually supposed to be there in the first place. I just heard something. So you do stuff even when I'm not looking. Funny how quickly I've gotten used to that being a thing. This must be a really dumb kid. That's something I can't stand in horror as a trope, is like the kid who is usually like, you know, an 8 or 9-year-old just not reacting to anything, and it's like they would be shrieking at this stuff. Like, movies treat kids as if they're completely stupid. Here we are. We can get across and... That did not sound like it was just here. That shook my actual room. Where are my parents? Are they not waking up from this? Is this a school night? Actually, I think during the demo I did look up the date, and it is in fact a school night. You're gone. And I'm jump scaring myself even still. Oh, there's another one of those things. Question is, can we actually get to it? No. It lets us think narrowly that we'll be able to, but we cannot, unfortunately. No, even attempting to go around, it's entirely enclosed. Is this the trail it dragged through the woods? God, why are we following this thing? Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Well, let's go the other way, how about? How about we go the other way? How about we go the other way? Oh my god! And now we're left just sitting here, playing that theme music as if nothing just happened. Oh my god, that was brilliant! I'm loving this game so much, you have no idea. But it has saved our progress. Flute no longer in tow. Can we head back up there? We can. Oh, and we found a shovel. A shovel which we can use, I think, to dig up plants, you said, right? Ow. Ah, and that acts as a bomb. We are actually really injured from this. And then we can plant vines in here, right? Or alternatively... No, that doesn't do that. If we grab the shovel, we can then use that on you. That'll plant you there. Oh, we can actually go and replant you. All over. There we go, you explode. Not quite sure if that does anything positive for me. Well, we can eliminate all of that, I suppose. There's like a... And I guess that damages me, and I'm not sure why. This may help you. Much obliged. I could stay and figure that out, however, I am running a little bit low on time. So I'm thinking maybe we can see what this does for us. Yes. And then we can grab you. Oop. Well, that's not what I needed, but you get the idea. The theory is sound. We can do it this way. Like that. And then... So now we can push you all the way out. Can't do anything with you yet, but that will be of no matter once we get you out. And now we can go like that. We want to make sure we do that first. Take you, put you there. You go down there, and we are golden. There we are. Oh, God, it's you. And we need a red key. I can't make sense of what that is hanging there, but it doesn't take much imagination to see the hanging. I'm fine like this. Well, if you say so. That just opened up as we arrived, strangely enough. We can grab a plant from over there. What we need it for, I've yet to determine. And up there we can plant something, yes, but also extend a bridge. Okay, all of this is going to be important to ensuring the connectivity of all of this. Look at it. So each of these side things, and I'm only now realizing, like, each of these, the woods, the mansion, the caves, each one probably contains a relic. Each one is a puzzle to solve and untangle. And judging by the amount of Easter eggs still left unsolved, we've still got a lot to do. But this is so awesome. Like, there's a lot of time spent really getting invested in the puzzles and the adventure game, and those puzzles and that gameplay is very inventive. It's the kind of thing where you hit these dead ends, but there's so many things going on at once that a lot of the time you're partially solving puzzles even before you've figured out the thing that you're currently working on. And so you're always making progress in some way, and then once you finally think to do something, once something finally clicks, especially if it's something meta, like something from the room, you just feel so awesome doing it. Like, it's got its mechanics, and it uses those as a springboard, not just to deliver puzzles, but to deliver, like, these cool story moments. Solving a puzzle is a story moment a lot of the time. The whole design of the game, in its visuals and its music and its events, is not scary per se, but it leaves you in this constant state of being just a little unnerved, like something's not right with this. And it allows itself to breathe enough that those big scares are few and far between, and they always yank you right back into reality. That last thing was incredible. And then, when all's said and done, after you've looked around in a frenzy trying to figure out why your fight or flight instinct has just been activated, you calm down a little bit, you realize that if there was something there before, there's nothing now. And you take inventory. You're no longer watching the game, you're looking at your room in reality as that now distant music plays in the dark. I talked about this when I played the demo, but when I was a kid, I rented this game from Blockbuster, Evil Dead: A Fistful of Boomstick, and there's a scene in the beginning where Ash is in the bar telling a story of how he fights Deadites, and the opening cutscene is like all the lights going out or whatever, and these balls of energy or whatever flying through the town, and one of them goes in and hits the bartender, who collapses below the bar, and the camera is moving in on him slowly, and then he pops up to show his demonic face, and when I played that, right at that moment, the power went out. Felt a lot like this does. If a video game can be used as a way to capture a feeling, then this is a game capturing a feeling inside a game capturing a feeling, and I am here for it, and I can't wait to see what it does next. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Hey guys, just wanted to take a moment to give a big thank you to Croxel Studios In a first for the channel, they've actually sent me this package of official Tormenture gear. Now, I've already gone ahead and ripped off all the labels so as not to dox myself here. And all the packing popcorn we can eat. So we'll start here. There is a second package boxed within it. Let's just cut that tape off. And there's a little bit more that I didn't see. That. That, a Tormenture mug. That image right there, that is exactly the vibe this game puts across, isn't it? That is so cool. Resting right there, we have a thank you card, which says, Tormenture. Thank you for your interest in Tormenture. We would like to share with you a Steam key for the full game, already done. You will find inside it the Tormenture's game box. So we got a couple more things here. For example, look at that. It's got a t-shirt. How cool is that? Let's just rest that mug haphazardly on the shirt while the edges dangle off the table to give people anxiety. And, last but not least, we have none other than a Tormenture game cartridge. Let's hold that a little closer so you can see it better. This is sick. It actually feels like I'm holding an object right out of the 80s. It's like when I used to play Sega Genesis games. A disturbing pixelated game inspired by classic games. Solve puzzles, explore surreal worlds, and escape from ghosts to avoid being trapped in the game. Be careful. Some creatures may break out of the game and lurk in the shadows. I'm horrible about this stuff, but let's try and carefully remove it from the box without damaging it. There's a little, is that a sticker or some kind of something in there? And there it is. That is so cool. That is so cool! The level of defictionalization that happens here. There's actually a Steam key printed on the back. Guys, this is so cool. Thank you so much.